Hello, everybody. Tried to start eBay as soon as I could tonight for the people that normally can't be up that late for my streams. I think it's a new record. I haven't started eBay at this time in a long time. Thanks very much, Chessmaster. Thank you for the 45 months. $182 for that. Mostly sports games. Interesting. You do get a lot of carts in a few non-sports games, but if I were the seller, I'd be pretty happy with that price. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 games. Let's just make it 30 to make it easier. $5 a game would be 150. Yeah, actually, it's kind of about right. If you get like $6 a game at this point. But then you're paying the tax, then you're paying the shipping. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. It's my favorite box. You think we got a bed with greatest hits? That's hot. It's like the font that you would use on like a horror magazine or something. From Australia. Australia, they got it rough. Not gonna lie though, if one of my favorite games had a box like that, I'd probably pick it up for the hell of it. Thanks, Clay Graphics. Katamari Damacy on Switch. Oh, sponsored. Ends in 7 minutes. Let's see if it's what the shipping is. $4. I don't know what that's going for. Apparently pretty cheap. This one here, buy it now for 15. But honestly, $6, $10 shipped right now. It's still pretty reasonable. They got a few other decent deals. Eternites, kind of enjoyed that game. $11 for that. You might be able to combine shipping with them too. I'll link their store. Thanks, Jord Temp. Thank you for the 29 months resub. Did a refresh instead because I sat on that page for a bit. A 9.9. I don't tend to pay attention to graded games too much, but one thing I do know is when it comes to sealed graded games, 9.8 is usually the standard. 9.9 is actually pretty rare to see. What the difference between a 9.8 and a 9.9 is with a sealed game, I have no idea. I think they just flip a coin or something, and randomly when they get heads 10 times in a row, they give it a 9.9. Dracula the Last Sanctuary. Is that the first one or the second one in this series? Can't remember. Yeah, I don't know. It's like every Crash game on PS1. Couple greatest hits. Oh, it just went up. What was this at before? Oh no, it was 92. Was it really though? I could swear it was cheaper when I clicked in. Free shipping. Seller's name is Boo Boo Tickles with a clown face. It's a little creepy, a little weird. Certainly no other seller out there like that gonna try and take their identity. Pretty random lot here. So that's why I clicked in, because they were only showing these up front, but it's actually including the games in the boxes. Which ultimately doesn't seem to mean much. Nothing too crazy in there. Well, stack of 007 games. Those are generally worth like 6 to 15 at the most, depending on condition. $10 average, I'd say. Kind of a not super exciting lot, though. We're just doing a general browse, Jay. Do I collect VHS? Only what I inherited from my grandparents, which was a lot of horror VHS. But VHS is just a little too scary to collect, because they will eventually just corrode and disintegrate the tapes. It's very easy for them to be stored improperly when you get them, right? Like, not even necessarily how you store them, but if like the person that you buy them from didn't store them properly, there could be mold growing inside, and you can't see it unless you take the tape apart. Especially if it has a Blockbuster sticker on the cassette tape. Like, you gotta actually open it to check it. Hello, Drew. And the worst part is if you put a dirty VHS player in a VHS tape in a VHS player, it contaminates the whole player. And then all future movies that you put in there will become contaminated. Because all it takes is a couple little mold spores to get loose in there, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, I would love to collect VHS tapes. The problem is, too, they're very hard to... Like, what I would collect is very hard to find in the wild. Which would be mostly horror stuff. And most of that is already picked clean. What an ugly box. eBay Games did this to this? Is that like a custom box they made? Or is it an insert? Oh, it looks like an insert that they put over the cover. Right? Yeah. eBay Games certified. Never seen that before, at least I never noticed it. No, I don't really collect movies anymore. I used to back when DVDs were like the most prevalent thing out there. I definitely bought a lot of horror or like sci-fi, fantasy, whatever I was into DVDs. And then when Blu-rays came out, I collected those for a bit with like a lot of like anime films or things like that. But then I just stopped it. Once streaming came into play, it just made more sense to just stream movies. And as much as I would love to buy some movies now, it's just like I just don't have the drive to really get back into collecting them like that. Or the space. I mean, the movies take up a lot of space. The thing with movies is, unlike games kind of have a finite ending for consoles. There's only so many games out there that I'd be interested in. Movies, it's like never ending. There would never be a stop to what you can buy. But if I ever see an interesting horror DVD or something that I've never seen before, and it looks like something I'd be into, I'd pick it up if it was cheap enough. But I'm not gonna spend like $40 on a DVD. The problem is that anytime I go into thrift stores and stuff, they never have anything horror, and if it's horror, it's mostly like the modern day, like highly printed, like mid-2000s kind of horror movies. Yeah, and I used to do the thing like with Lord of the Rings. I had them on DVD, and then I bought the extended editions on DVD. And then they released, you know, like the limited, there was some kind of like limited edition with some extra behind the scenes that I had to pick up. And then they come out with the Blu-rays and then the extended edition on the Blu. I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. It's too much. I think the only thing I may be interested in though is if Disney ever decided to release, which they won't, the original unedited versions of the original Star Wars movies. That I would probably buy. But if they ever get desperate, you never know, they might do it. But knowing them, they'll put it on Disney Plus. It's the problem with these streaming services. So, you know, these companies, they'll just do it digitally on their service, so you gotta sign up for it. Silk Song. I've been enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, it's good. A little frustrating with some of the Souls-style checkpoints, but I've been enjoying the atmosphere quite a bit. You know, I'm not gonna be obsessed with it like some people are with that series, but I enjoy it. The Innkeeper with the 2 months. Thank you so much, Innkeeper. I look forward to getting back to it. It was a little bit of like, the beginning of the game was a high point, and then like after a couple hours I hit a low point. But then the last couple hours that I played of the game was pretty good. It's not software, it's, well, I mean, it's OBS. It's pretty much the software that most people use when streaming. And then you just use a, you know, a plugin thing that just captures the Twitch chat. I don't know how, like, how do you even get a shot like that? It almost seems like you gotta go out of your way to get your legs in there. I guess today's phones really just have that wide of an angle. It's retired for now, Reckless. What act? I have no idea. I don't even know how you can tell what act you're on in the game. You guys want me to pick this up and stream it? Speedrun it, maybe? Look at that controller. Steel Battalion got nothing on this thing. Look at that. You want to train your kid to be ready to play Steel Battalion? You start him with Tonka digging rigs. A little unpredictable. It's a pretty good price for this. Disc a bit scratched. Probably do with the resurfacing. But that's like, that is the kind of disc that can be resurfaced. The scratching doesn't seem too deep, except for that right there, but it could just be the way the light catches it. This copy in the jewel case, typically $80 to $100+. If it's really mint, it'll be more. But if you're looking to just get the case and the manual and then see what the disc is all about, it's a pretty good price right now. They're selling a bunch of Resident Evil games. All reasonably priced at the moment. Good old Zach here. He'd be very happy if you picked up his Resident Evil games. I can't zoom in. Let me see, can I? see if I can. On mobile, they let you kind of like click in and zoom in a bit. No, not here. You get the little profile picture. There's a link. Oops, that's not the link. Here's the link. Not too often reckless. Ever come across amazing deals on eBay? They're much more harder and more difficult to find these days. But honestly, when I do my affiliate review where I go over like what people in my community bought with my affiliate link, that typically always proves that there's still really good deals to be found. You just got to be persistent. The method that I use on stream, you're really not going to find too amazing of a deal because I'm just literally scrolling through listings. In order to get the really good stuff, you just got to sit there refreshing every few seconds, which is like, you know, not really good for a stream like this. But you can still get good deals. You just got to have a lot of patience. More so, I think it's about finding the really niche, obscure things and just following the search results and then waiting for the notification to come through. Or trying to make your own deals by sending offers to sellers or putting everything that you're interested in on a like a watch list so they can send you an offer. It's actually a pretty nice lot. It's a good game selection. No sports. Except for Outlaw Golf, which is actually kind of... I enjoyed the one that I played. Pretty fun. Not bad. Oh, there is one sports game in there. I'm gonna link it. Why are those ones sticking out? No manual? "11 games are without the manual. Receive exact items." They don't really... I guess these are the only ones with the manual. I guess that kind of kills the deal. Postal Toast, thanks Postal, thank you for the resub. Yeah, we found a lot of D's last stream, let's see what happens tonight. Yeah, thank you, I was surprised to find it as well. Still, oh, I was gonna say still relatively cheap for Persona. Manual. It's got some folding in it. Ooh, that's a rough manual. I wonder if that's moisture damage or if it's just wrinkled. Front cover has fading compared to the internal booklet. Booklet slightly creased and yellowed with age. Disc was buffed at one point, not resurfaced. Damn, that is rough shape. Still going for 187. That's probably past the point of what I'd want to add to my collection. It's a little too rough. Cake? Yeah, Cake comes in the mushrooms. He's very nice. Pretty awesome. He's opening a shop. I wish him luck. Wow, it's a busy cover. If I could play a version of Stardew Valley where you just remove all the people and you just raise your chickens and cows, tend to your farm, I'd play that. It's a good price for this. This is normally around 30 bucks. Complete in box, they want 50. Oh, wow, is it really up to like 50 now? When I picked mine up, it was like $30. It's like it's more like 50. So this is a pretty good price right now. Sneaking under the radar with both discs, $7.50, $4 shipping. You might be able to get a deal on this in an hour and a half. Shall link it. Good luck on your bidding. I have not seen it. Unpredictable, nope. Remember to like the stream if you're on the YouTube side. It does help immensely. So leave a like. You don't got a chat? Just remember to leave the like. This helps more people know that I'm streaming right now. See what $1,000 gets us for PC games. Is this the same lot we saw last week? I think it might be. Sure looks like it. I think it is. I certainly wouldn't pay $1,000 for that. Jewel case PC games a little bit more of a hard sell compared to something in big bucks. It's sort of like buying a 3DO game with just the jewel case, or like a TurboGrafx game without the the box. Whoa. Hellraiser. You know, when we get close to October, the horror characters, they start coming out. We got Hellraiser himself Pinhead gift and 10 subs to the chat. Thank you so much, Hellraiser. Just in time to hook some people up in the first week of October with some horror emotes. Pretty much anybody that's gets gifted a sub from now out will at least get to enjoy it a little bit in October. But thanks so much for that support. Yeah, very nice one. They gifted it right after the hype train. The hype train ended. The train pulled away from the station, and then in came the gift subs. Yeah, I tried to start a little early tonight. Mostly because I remembered a comment from a week or two ago where someone said, it's hard for them to catch my streams because they're in Europe. So I really made an effort tonight to start as early as I could. I pretty much ate a late lunch, and I'm treating that as my dinner so that I can stream earlier. But towards the end of the stream, I'm also going to have a sponsored segment. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing that when I'm like dead tired. But yeah, it's still a few hours from now. Wow, a lot of 9.9s from CGC. That's so messed up, by the way. Like, the fact that you can grade a game and it gets a 9.9. At least with cards, it goes 9, 9.5, and 10. The fact that you can get a grade back that's a 9.9 is just such a slap in the face. Tens are pretty much non-existent, by the way, for games. I don't know what they use to measure how to determine the grade. I would love to see like what determines the difference between a 9.8 and a 9.9. How would they know? Like, seriously, like what are they looking at? Of the Dragon Quests I've played, it would be Dragon Quest 8, but I'm not an expert in Dragon Quest games. Still have to play a lot of them. Do I think Nintendo will do anything to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Mario? I hope they do something like what they did with F-Zero 99. Like, give us a new Mario 99 style game. Those are always really fun. I like that stuff. I really wish I kept up with the F-Zero one. I was surprisingly good at that, too. I really should have kept up with it. I kind of shocked myself because I never really played much F-Zero on Super Nintendo at all. I played it at like a friend's house when I was younger. And then when they came out with F-Zero 99, I found out that I was actually like consistently finishing in like the top 3 at the end of the Grand Prix. Which is pretty respectable in F-Zero when you're playing against almost 100 other players. But after like 2 weeks, I never went back to it. Have any of you actually played Martian Gothic? I've only heard from a couple people, and all of them said that I would really not like this game. Because of, like, the juggling characters back and forth. One of these years, I will play it. I just don't know when that will be. Do you guys find it weird at all that Nintendo, like, sometimes just literally announces a Nintendo Direct within 24 hours of it happening? I wonder if they do that to try and prevent leaks or something. They're always so last minute with that stuff. I would fully expect some kind of a direct with Mario for the anniversary then. I haven't played the Thousand Year Door remake, no. I don't think I've really even played enough Switch games to be able to formulate like a good top 3. Switch for me, I pretty much pushed to the side the second that I got really disappointed by the performance of that thing. I'd still say the best experience I had with the Switch, though. If I think the better way for me to frame it would be like best experiences. I think the most fun, not necessarily my #1 game, but the most fun that I had with my Switch was like the first few weeks of the release of Chocobo GP. Had a blast. I did multiple 10+ hour streams of that game, to the point where my finger lost feeling in the tip of my finger for like 2 weeks because I played it so much. Then the launch of Mario Odyssey would probably be next. It's a good deal here. Good condition. Alone in the Dark on PS1, by the way, in my opinion, one of the best looking PS1 games. The lighting in that game on PS1 specifically is incredible. Very, very good. So it looks like people are looking for, because it used to be about $40. Now it looks like it's more like in the $50 range on average. And then this one, I think is around $35, $45 range. So this is a pretty good price right now for the two of them. This used to be about 30, but it's gone up a little bit, I believe. They're also selling Martian Gothic. Seems like everybody's selling the game. Nobody wants to keep it. Have I picked up a Switch one since 2? Nah. It's not much of a reason to. I had more fun with Chocobo GP. I had a blast with Chocobo GP. Yep. I bought a life-size Chocobo plush for the launch of that game for my streams. I went over the top for Chocobo GP. Alone in the Dark PS1 is the perfect spooky game to play during the season. I agree. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a great game. I liked the atmosphere in it. The combat was good. The lighting was good. The 2-character thing was kind of like, you know, adds a little bit of an incentive to go back and play it again, unless you're looking to blow through it, both stories in one sitting, kind of thing. Fatal Inertia. Who remembers when that game was going for over $100 during the 360 apocalypse? Now it's just sitting all innocently in a normal 360 lot again. I remember people were panicking. They couldn't get Fatal Inertia. People were paying like $60, $70 just for the disc. I didn't bite the bullet on that one. With shipping, though, it kind of like pretty much means you're paying $60 for Fatal Inertia, and you're getting a bunch of filler. I'll link it though, just in case someone here actually wants some of the other games with it. They have a few lots actually. Some of them are ending quite late though, from one another. How is Silk Song? I'm enjoying it. It's growing on me. I am really not into Metroidvanias, especially long ones, so I technically should not like Silk Song. So the fact that I'm enjoying it should tell you something. I'm just so burnt out on Metroidvania games, you have no idea. I played a lot of them back when they were, you know, really starting to ramp up. I just got tired of them. I just stopped liking the formula of a Metroidvania. 2D Metroidvania, to be clear. I think it's Silk Song's graphics that really tie it together for me. They do an excellent job of making the levels not feel so rectangular. It feels more organic, which I really like. You got your Snake and Psychomantis Figgies, by the way. Awesome, yeah. Sounds like you didn't pull a variant, but that's okay. You're not really expecting to pull one. But I'm glad you liked them. Thank you for picking them up. Did you pick up like multiples of each to go for the variants? Or did you just go for the two of them? Sometimes people pick up multiple of each one. I have an update on Figgies, by the way, which I'll show you guys later. People are finally starting to list like the variants on eBay. People were always like speculating what people would ask if they pulled like a bronze or a gold variant. Well, people have finally started listing them, and we'll show that later. Hello, Ash. Yeah, good to see you. Nice meeting you as well. In person. I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. The only thing that I deal with is sometimes I still feel more tired than I should from the medication, but other than that, I feel pretty good. Try and get out and do my daily walks, play some Pokemon Go. I love my Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go has been amazing. They're doing this Kanto Pokemon event right now where it's like a bunch of the original Pokemon that you can catch when you're out and about. For people that play Pokemon Go, you'll realize how insane this is. I went on a 40-minute walk. I caught 2 shiny Charmanders, both of which were 3 stars. So if you play Pokemon Go, you know how lucky that is. And the last one I caught, I was literally about to turn my phone off. I'm like, alright, this will be the last catch, last Charmander. Shiny 3-star. So I was very happy. And then I'm getting into the PvP side of things. So I caught a rank 3 Pidgey for PvP. I just love checking the IVs and seeing like who's competitive and what could be used. So yeah, Pokemon Go's been good. I get out there typically once a week. I try and go to like a park and I'll play for a few hours. Community day, last time I did a community day I was out there for like almost 5 hours playing the game. Man, let me tell you though, I was at the park this week and I saw this guy. I saw him a mile away. I'm like, that's a Pokemon Go player. You can spot him. I'm getting good at it. Like, you could just look at somebody and be like, yep, there he is. Sitting on the grass. I'm like, I know what he's doing. He's taking over my damn gym. You know what his name was? He took over all the gyms in the park. His name was Jim Hoarder 69. And if you saw him in person, you'd be like, yeah, that checks out. I let him have the gyms. I waited until he left, and then I took the gyms back. The problem is, I was, I forget the team's name, but I was part of the yellow team. Nobody in my area is on the yellow team. Like, I swear it's impossible to get gyms. Everybody's red or blue. So I'm like, alright, I'm finally going to switch. I switched to blue. Ever since I switched to the blue team, All the gyms are red. I'm just like, and you can't switch again for a year. It's kind of annoying. But at least I got off the yellow team. Nobody is on the yellow team where I live. Even if I like take 10 minutes to clear out a full gym, whittle it down, get my Pokemon in there, they kill it within 2 minutes and take it over. And one time I got pretty pissed. During community day, I took down a gym. It took me 10 minutes because this thing was filled with high-level Pokemon. I took down the gym, and I don't know if this is something people do. Instantly, I did all the work to take down the gym. Instantly, somebody else put their Pokemon in the gym, even though I just took it down. And then their friend put their Pokemon in there. So instantly, they refilled it with 2 other Pokemon. You guys know what I'm talking about if you play the game. But I thought they had preventative measures to stop that. I thought that if you defeated the gym, you'd get priority to put Pokemon, but apparently they know some workaround. So Pokemon Go, pretty cutthroat out there, let me tell you. These people ain't playing around. And if you're on opposite teams, you do not make eye contact. You just keep your head in your phone. You walk by, you're like, yeah, there's that bastard. I knew he took down my gym. You know what I did? You know what I did to Gym Hoarder 69? I saw him trying to take down one of my gyms with my Snorlax. I saw him whittling it down. I used the golden raspberry, which instantly refills your HP for your Pokemon. So like as soon as he was about to defeat the Snorlax, boom, full HP again. And then he walked away. He came back later and got it. He got it while I was getting my lunch. It's almost as though he saw me head to the food trucks and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it right now. So yeah, Pokemon Go, it's maybe one day I'll stream it, you never know. Pokemon Go is pretty fierce. You wouldn't think. You'd think it's just a bunch of people walking around catching Pokemon. Nah, this is whole meta. The only thing that I hate is that I don't have like really local Pokestops or gyms, so to get a constant flow of Pokeballs, sometimes I gotta spend money on Pokeballs. I hate to do it, but like I can't always make it out to a town or a park to stock up on Pokeballs. It's just to play every day, you can't. Like it's just impossible. I'm not gonna go to a park every day. So that does suck. I'm envious of people that live by close Pokestops. Like if you can go for your daily 30-minute walk and spin a bunch of Pokestops, you're lucky. Alright, let's change the search. We're not finding anything. Should you sell your Vita collection now? I'd say if you can hold on to it, I'd hold on to it. I think games right now are like, they're still very expensive, but I feel like right now is one of the lower points of spending on games. So Vita will only continue to go up in desirability as people get nostalgic for like true handheld consoles. So if you're in no rush, I would just hold on to stuff. Unless you need the money right now. No, I can't stream it with my convention setup, because the phone I play it on is the one I would stream from. It would literally have to be screen capture. But I've seen that's how some people do it. Like it's just a literal screen capture. You can switch to the camera on the phone if you needed to show something. It would be inconvenient, but I'm not going to be one of those crazy Pokemon Go players out there with like a camera crew filming them with a phone on their like strapped to their wrists. Like some of these people are crazy with streaming Pokemon Go because that's all they do every day. Nope, not me. It's a nice photo. I've never seen somebody do a thumbnail like that. Show the spines, show the covers. It's a lot of work setting up a thumbnail like that. Cover image. Gifts every day. Closer friends, but I don't take random friend requests. Yeah, I don't accept friends in that game from random people. It's pretty good. You get Battle for Middle-earth 2, which... That game was getting very expensive at one point, but I think it's kind of settled back around the $25 to $30 range. Quake 4, Jericho, a couple of other pretty cheap games. You're really buying this for Middle-earth 2. I could take a look and just double check a complete copy of that is going for. Like I said, about 25 to 30. Looks like it's kind of settled back down to 25. This was becoming about a $40 game at one point during the apocalypse. So I guess this deal, figure 25, 30, 35, 40. I mean, really, the price is not bad if you actually cared about a few other games in here. So I'm still going to link this seller's store for you. Your town's pretty split up between the three. Yeah, my area, it's just red and blue. I've been yellow since launch as well, but I had to change. It's just too difficult. The gym's like around where I do my daily walks. It's always red or blue. It's never yellow. So I just had to settle for one of the other teams. And my Pokemon aren't strong enough to like take down some of the big setups that they put in those gyms. So how do you stream while playing Pokemon Go? You literally just stream your screen of your phone. The way I've seen people do it with that setup, they stream the screen of their phone, and then if you need to like show yourself or show something in the environment, they just swap the app over to the camera, and then you can just screen share the camera. It's pretty much how they do it. If you're looking for like the easiest, low effort. Oh my god, I hear lightning and thunder. That's not good. Hold on, let me hear that. Shit. Yeah, I saw the lightning. There's lightning and thunder right now. I'm gonna warn you guys right now. The Twitch side knows. My power is really bad when it's thundering and lightning out. Like, the power flickers on and off all the time. And that kills my stream. Okay, so if the stream goes down, I'm gonna do eBay tomorrow, okay? eBay will be tomorrow. If the stream goes down, I got a new YouTube video up you guys can watch in the meantime if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, the stream hopefully won't go down. But it is likely to if it keeps going. Handhelds charge? Nah. No, I don't play games if the power goes out. If the power goes out, I'll probably honestly just like read a book. I've been reading Neuromancer. That's a hard book to get through, let me tell you. I picked a really difficult book to be like, you know what, I haven't read in about 20 years. Let's read Neuromancer. Not a good choice. Great book. But holy crap, is that not an easy book to read. It's one of those books where, like, after every chapter or two, I gotta go online and, like, read a synopsis of what I just read. Because it's, like, very disjointed and convoluted and hard to understand at times. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. But I figure if I start with that, you know, whatever else I go into, I'll be ready. But yeah, I just felt like reading again while the weather was nice. Neuromancer. Neuromancer is credited as essentially like the beginning of the term cyberspace. So Neuromancer has influenced like literally anything you can think of that's sort of like cyberpunk-esque. That book is the beginning. But I look forward to finishing it because I actually got my little bag right here. My little Barnes and Noble bag. I don't have the Neuromancer book here, but these are the ones that I will plan on reading afterwards. I just looked up some random books that I thought I might be into. I don't know what one I'll read next, but I got Dan Simmons' Hyperion, which I actually had this book long ago. I tried reading it when I was too young and I couldn't really make sense of it. But I'm weird where like I need a brand new book to read. I don't want to read no old yellow smelly, like I just don't like old books. I don't want a book that already has creases in the spine. I need to make the creases in the spine myself. I'm really weird with that stuff. This is probably going to be the next one I read because a lot of you recommended it to me and I really enjoyed the movie. The Road. I'm sure some of you have seen the movie with Viggo Mortensen. Brutal. Can't wait to read the book. I'm sure it's going to be a really feel-good story. And then this one because this is another one that I used to have. I just kind of like the cover. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm like, I just really like this cover. I picked up Radbury, The Martian Chronicles. Here's the cover. I just, sometimes the cover of a book really speaks to you. And that just seems like a really fun sort of like Life on Mars kind of. I'm not really like super into the alien stuff, but it's a pretty short one. I prefer shorter. And then when I'm done with those, I plan on doing Lord of the Rings again. But I want to get like this version that's on Amazon. Barnes & Noble had it for $40. I ain't spending $40 on that. Amazon has it for $17. Like a sort of like leather-bound Lord of the Rings with all 3 books in one. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Well, I figured I liked the movie for The Road, so I figured maybe I'll like the book. We'll see. From what I looked through, flipping through the book, it seems very easy to read in that there's a lot of spacing between the text. There's a lot of dialogue where, like, the words on a page are actually really condensed, which I like, because it makes you feel like you're speeding through the pages. I can read pretty fast, but, like, I can't read Neuromancer fast. That is not... sometimes I have to, like, reread a paragraph. It's not easy. Lord of the Rings lot for PS2 with a super rare limited edition Hollywood video with a Game Crazy sticker version of Return of the King. I'm not so much into the Game Crazy stickers. I more so want like literal Hollywood video stickers. Plus you get the card. There are random trading cards that come with copies of the Lord of the Rings. Not all of them. With The Hobbit and Fellowship, you get trading cards. Yeah, I'm aware of Snow Crash. I think I considered that book a long time ago when I was looking to read something. I don't know if I ever attempted to read it or what. It's possible. I know I read Ender's Game a long time ago, and honestly, I barely remember that book. Barely remember it. Yeah, I was disappointed to see that Barnes & Noble didn't carry any of the Legacy Star Wars books either. I guess that's stuff you gotta buy online now. All those, like, expanded universe stuff. None of it. Guess they don't publish them anymore. Yeah, I'm a little over halfway through Neuromancer, so I try and do, like, a chapter a day. That's kind of a dense book to power through. So, still probably take me another week. Even though the second half is getting a little easier to read than the first half, once the plot becomes a little more clear. It's essentially a book that deals with AI. But that book predicted a lot of things in the future with like virtual reality and the internet and all that kind of stuff. Like that was the first book to ever conceptualize that in like the sci-fi space. So it's a pretty groundbreaking book. The Red Rising, yeah, I saw a bunch of those at the bookstore. Because of course, now that I've watched like 1 or 2 videos on YouTube talking about books, my entire feed is filled with people recommending books. So I've seen that one recommended quite a bit. It's just so funny how that algorithm works, boy. Watch one video on a book. The whole freaking feed is books now. Still hear thunder. Hello, Wrecking Cruise. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Pyramid. Contemporary books. I don't know what I'm going to be reading yet, to be honest. Even though I like horror movies, I don't think I would really like reading like explicitly horror books. But I can't really say I've tried many of them. With pieces to weight book? What do they mean by that? That's a really weird translation. A little bit of leg action in there for you with your scratched up discs. $120, not for that condition. Probably the cheapest Saturn lot you'll ever see. Because it's 3 cheaper games. Actually a really good lot. I always recommend this game because it's cheap but it's good. And exclusive. Then you get Daytona and then you get Hang On GP. I don't know how that version of Hang On is on Saturn. This is pretty solid though. If you're just looking for a little bit of good filler for your Saturn collection. Looks like some kind of rip on... What is that? Did they mention what that is? Game case is broken on the hinge of Hang On GP. The manual is also missing from within the cover. Okay. So it's just the cover. That's why it looks like that. Sort of, I guess. But that's the spine. I don't... So that would explain why. Because Hang On GP by itself is like a $50, $60 game. So that's without the manual, technically. Looks like they're letting go of their Saturn collection. For very reasonable prices, though. Yeah, this person's prices are pretty fair. This is why you don't backlight your pictures. You can't really see that. I'm gonna link their shop. You have a family member in a PS1 game, it's a really bad game. Which game is it? Maybe I've played it. Like a character in the game doing voice acting, you mean? Sports game? Well, then I've definitely probably not played it. Unless it's like extreme sports. It is extreme sports. Is it Polaris Snowcross? Because that's on Game Boy and PlayStation. But it's not a bad game to my knowledge. TJ Lav and BMX. I think I have that game on Game Boy Color. Haven't played it though. Wow. They definitely need some color correction on that camera. How does somebody take a photo like this and say, yep, that's good, let's list it? I mean, that can't even be a phone, right? They've got to be using an ancient digital camera or something, or like a laptop camera. That's crazy. But it's one of the only photos like that. I like this one. It's actually got like interlacing. Really vintage looking photos. Got a favorite console? Right now it's the PS2. Little Goomba. Speak of the Devil. It's a cool cover, actually. I don't think I've ever seen... Usually the art you see is like just blue and black and white. I don't really remember seeing purple much. Have I seen the Vectrix mini announcement? I have not. I mean, that sounds cool. To me, though, the Vectrix will always be best on the original hardware. I think it would be a little hard to replicate that, but honestly, just making the Vectrix more accessible is nice. It's kind of hard to recreate that fuzzy vector humming effect of the original monitor. Because I've seen emulated Vectrix, it's not the same. There actually, once upon a time, used to be a Vectrix emulator that you can download for iOS. I mean, it's a huge difference. Still have that app on my old iPad, but the screen is broken on it. RPG Maker 3. Every time I look at the cover for RPG Maker, like this black dot effect around the edges always makes me think that the copy has like mold growing on it. Until I remember that that's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, thank you, G Squad. Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen the latest video, just, you know, if you're looking to go into it spoiler-free, you're probably best off watching it sooner rather than later. But it was, had a pretty crazy find in there. RPG Maker seems like work. That's for sure. I definitely look forward to the day when I finally release my RPG Maker game. Currently about 270 hours into the game. I think once I finally stop playing the Persona game on mobile, that's probably when I'm going to get back into it more heavily. Just a little too hard to balance playing that game a little bit each day, and then I used to do RPG Maker every day. But also I'm waiting for the weather to get a lot cooler because I do it on PlayStation 5, so when I do it on my Portal, my PS5 is on, and that gets things very hot. So at least once it's like fall, winter, and more so into the winter, at least when I play RPG Maker, it'll double as a heater, a space heater, when I'm playing on my PS5. Three console lot and games for the Saturn, PS1, and N64. That's a terrible cover photo. That's it? No games? Just this PS1 stuff? This is a lot with three consoles and all games in the pictures. It's not very exciting. Did I test it out? That thing's not coming out of the box. It's a rainbow of PSPs. 30 of them. That seems pretty pricey. I like how Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is still pricey, even though it's been re-released again. People don't care. They're like, nope, we still want 120. I would be shocked if they got $100 for this. I don't think there's enough people out there that like Rage 2 enough to even... Well, first, they didn't like it enough to even buy the game, but... Is there really anybody out there that's going to spend $100 on this? It's the kind of thing that you find in a dumpster behind GameStop and like literally leave it in the dumpster. And Game Gear collecting. Game Gear collecting on another level. Cool cover though, I like that. It's gotta actually be pretty darn rare, because that is a cover I don't think I've seen before. Hello, Gaseous. Super Nintendo console Super Mario 5 Stars Pack. That almost looks unofficial. I've never seen a box like that before. 5 games: Mario World, Mario 2, Lost Levels, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Mario Brothers. So they're kind of like cheating with the Mario All-Stars cart. They're making you think you're getting 5 carts in there. I did a review for this game on my channel a long time ago. If I remember right, I said the music's amazing, but the game was just too easy. That was actually my biggest complaint. Robo-List. Or no, was I thinking of... No, I reviewed, not this. This wasn't the one that was too easy. I was thinking of, oh man, what is the name of it? Like Android Assault or something like that. Yeah, that game also had really good music, but it was too easy. Robo-List, that's not going to be too easy. What wording did I put in search lot? I put in lot minus rare. Putting in minus rare removes listings with rare in the title because I just looked through a bunch of listings with rare, so it takes out the redundancy. Anybody need a Parappa the Rapper toaster? Hot toast. That's why I love searching rare. You find things like that that certainly you would not come across normally. This is one of those instances where Herc's Adventure is more rare and more expensive on PS1 than the Saturn version. Typically, Saturn versions are a bit more expensive and sought after. Herc's Adventure is way more rare on PS1. Same thing goes for the Batman Forever arcade game. Way more rare on PlayStation and more expensive than the Saturn version. Hello, Nell. Favorite TCG set for Pokemon? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, obviously the originals are really... If I had to pick from base set, Jungle, and Fossil, and like Rocket, I would actually pick Jungle. I've always loved the Jungle set. But these days, like what I like... I really like the art on the E-Series cards, so like anything from Expedition Aquapolis Skyridge. And also some of the stamped sets from like the EX era. The reverse hollow stamp. Fire Red Leaf Green set is really good, because even the reverse hollows in that look like hollows. Wow, a physical copying of Guardians of Middle-earth? We never got that in the US. Great game. You can still play this, by the way. I tried streaming this like when the 360 store was like closing up. You can still connect online and play Guardians of Middle-earth. Just that no one's playing it, obviously. Kind of forgot that you can still play. We should organize a night to get people on there. Or maybe it wasn't that you can play online. Maybe... No, you could play online. Or was it just the single-player tutorial? I'm pretty sure you can still play online. It's a MOBA, by the way. Like, think League of Legends, but with Lord of the Rings. That was console exclusive. It was pretty cool, let me tell you. Walking around as Sauron, just like slamming your big mace down and killing everybody. It was pretty good. It's one of those games where, you know, anybody can kill anybody. One of those, like, weird power fantasy things. It's like, alright, Samwise Gamgee can kill Sauron, sure. Backstab him. Just cardboard disc instead of code. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's possible. Could have been one of those games. Favorite non-horror fall or Halloween games? Well, it used to be Let It Die. But I'm on a hiatus from Let It Die. I'm not sure when I'll be, or if I'll be back to it, because the new one's coming out. I'd rather play that. Yeah, I used to love playing Let It Die around this time of year. Did that for a few years. Which is somewhat horror-esque. other than that, playing a nice MMORPG in the fall is also something. I don't like playing MMOs during the spring. Fall and winter, though, it doesn't feel quite as bad, you know, because at least the weather's not the nicest sometimes. Do I like the Pokemon cards or the art? Is the Pokemon in clay form? Yeah, the artist is Yukamori. He makes some pretty popular Pokemon cards. I like the clay sculpted cards, yes. I will go out of my way to collect them when I see them. I have not played Costume Quest, no. It's on the list of horror games to, you know, eventually get to one of these Octobers. But Costume Quest has still never made the cut yet. It looks cute. Looks like a fun game. I'm sure I'll like it. Yeah, thank you, Worgley. It's been a very long time since I've done any, like, physical practical art like that. Last time I did it was a digital drawing of Bubsy. That was the last time. The first time I drew something digital and the last time. I can remember when I first got my headset for PS2 with SOCOM. Tried to make that headset last as long as possible. That thing was practically falling apart. I was holding it together with Scotch tape. Then eventually one day it finally gave out. Then I had to pick up something like a Logitech headset. Martian Gothic, yeah, I've been curious about that one. I really am not sure. It's probably a game I wouldn't like. I think there's a reason that's one of the cheapest horror games on PS1. There's gotta be a reason. Other than being high print run. Because other horror games have a high print run and they're not $15. Hey, hello Justin, thanks for popping in. There's a lot of under the radar stuff on PS1, indeed. And PS2. It says to read. Yeah, these are just cases of manuals. I was gonna say, that's way too good to be true for 80 bucks. Not a bad case of manual though. Most have manuals. Top 5 rows are with cases and manuals. Bottom 3 are without. I've played Bramble, yes. I played that outside of October. Had I known how that game was themed, it definitely would have been a game that I played in October, but I played it when it launched. It was good. It's definitely a game I would recommend for October if you're looking for something kind of spooky. If you're into horror games like Little Nightmares, you want something in that style, Bramble's really good for that. Games player finish before October. I'm not too concerned about it, honestly. Whatever I get to kind of thing, you know. Obviously finishing Silk Song, as long as I'm still feeling that game, would be a higher priority. Warhammer Fire Warrior, I think I probably already own that, maybe. I know the game you're talking about. I don't know too much about that one. I'll have to check it out one day. It's a very common game. You see that game all the time on eBay. This person caught the only part of their home that had sunlight to get that photo. The sun rays are shining through. Vintage Sony PlayStation promotional employee champagne glass set. Oh, they're definitely fake, right? Any kind of promotional wine glasses. Oh, those have got to be fake. No way it's real. That's in reference to my Sonic wine glass, by the way. There were so many people out there that believed it was fake, despite having the original box literally signed by the creators of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like, okay, sure. However, funny enough, fakes did eventually pop up for those wine glasses many, many years later, but they were very easy to tell because it was not etched, it was like a frosted effect. Did you ever go over the 150 bucket with the climbing gear? Only if you did the event stuff while you can still do it, Copy Hill. You can get, I think it was like the pants or the body. I think it was the body. That allows you to go over 150. But if you didn't get the full event gear set to +1, then don't do it. There's things that can instantly break your bucket. Italian French strategy guide for Silent Hill. Check out that cover. I actually like the PAL style cover for Silent Hill quite a bit. It's very creepy looking. Hello, Zaza. Yeah, it's not worth going over if you don't have the +1 event gear. If you have it, then yeah, I mean you can risk going over if your bucket's not good. Complete with 3D glasses. Are people really paying $100 for Heart of Darkness with the glasses now? I can remember when that game was like 15, 20 bucks without the glasses, and with the glasses it maybe added an extra 10 or 20 bucks. Terrible photo. But what's in this box is valued at over $500. Let's see what we got. Wait a minute. It's a mystery box? Oh, come on. Okay, everyone, here's a crazy deal. Some box has games that are stuff hard to find, and it's a fun time gathering and collecting. But now let someone else enjoy these amazing games, and thank you so very much, and have a great day. Oh, what a nice seller. The heck is that? That looks like a DVD. I don't know, like no game. What is that? Right? That does not look like a game that I know. I think these are DVDs because look, this is a security seal. That definitely looks like a DVD security seal. That's definitely a DVD. Yeah, that looks like a DVD logo there. Wow, that's a scam waiting to happen there. What the hell? They're selling Pokemon cards, but then they're saying it's a Backbone PlayStation mobile gaming controller. This person's having a little trouble. Little bit of trouble listing their stuff. I'm sure it would be a fun lot to buy and go through and see what's actually in there. The problem is it's $500. If it was $50, I'd say, alright, let's do it for the content. $500, that's a different story. I have no idea how the return process would work for a mystery box. Technically, I don't even think eBay sellers are really supposed to sell mystery boxes. Just that eBay doesn't care. It's AI trying to learn how to sell. It's possible. It could be trying to talk like these crazy eBay sellers. Thank you and have a nice day. Who writes that? Come on now. This is eBay. Get down to the facts. We want to know what's in there, what's the condition. Pachinko controller. I mean, you gotta be in deep to be buying a controller like that to play pachinko at your house. Wonder if they have one that like dispenses the metal balls so you get that dopamine rush when you win in the game. It's actually a pretty wild box art on that. I like that. Look at that. Retro futuristic. I played one pachinko game. It was on the PCFX. That was it. And it was one of the only like video game style pachinko games out there where there's like more to do than just pachinko. I don't remember what it was, but it was like something other than just playing pachinko. Thanks, Padrino. Thank you for the golden knob on YouTube. Always appreciate it. Case only for Juggernaut. It's not bad if you actually just need the case. Another game that I highly recommend for your October game playing. Really weird game. In a good way. Just at the beginning is so rough to get through. Once you can overcome the first couple hours, it's good. Remember to leave a like on the YouTube side if you can. Helps out a lot. See if we can push it up to at least 50 likes. Hello, Bloodshot. I remember I used to have things like this. Everybody used to have these really cheap console selectors. How is Silk Song? So far, so good. It's definitely getting better the more I play it. Well, people really are expecting... I gotta check the prices on Heart of Darkness. This is a second copy. People want $100. I don't know if it's just because of the glasses. Like, obviously the glasses command a little bit more of a premium. Yeah, so copies with the glasses are commanding a pretty big markup. You can still get it without the glasses for about what is kind of historically gone for. There's some copies going without manual for $30 though. But complete you could still get it for $30, $35. Nobody's really buying it with the glasses very often though. But yeah, there's a huge markup for them. The craziest part is the only thing that you really use the 3D glasses for in this game is the intro scene. That's it. So it looks like if you get them detached from the insert, it adds about 20 bucks. If they're still brand new and attached to the piece of cardboard that they came with, then it goes up to about 80. I think the beta was enough for me with Battlefield 6. I think I'm going to be passing on that. It's a good thing I played the beta, because it's the kind of game you could potentially get caught up in the hype and just buy it. I enjoyed being the medic in there for the night I played it, but that's good enough for me. Well, it'd be different if you can play the entirety of the game in 3D, but it's really just for a single cutscene. What kind of game is it? It's like Out of This World, Another World. One of those like flashback style, slow, methodical puzzle platformers. But Heart of Darkness really stood out for its production. Like incredible music, incredible animation in that game. Like really good animation. Great sound design. Do I test games on emulator before buying? No. No, I don't touch that. Takes the fun out of it too. Half the fun is not knowing what you're going to think about the game. And then once you have it, you're committed to it. Thank you, Defense. Oh, Heart of Darkness, one of the faults of that game was it was too hard. I made it to the end of the game and couldn't beat it. It was just too difficult. Really hard. One of these days I'll have to get revenge on it. I prefer Sonic Adventure 1 a lot more. I just like the simplicity of it. I wasn't too into anything outside of the Sonic and Shadow levels in Adventure 2. I'm not exactly sure how you'd know Defense. Probably having to open it up and check what it looks like. Like, it may already be leaking. That happened to one of mine. It leaks. What in the world? Giant block of red in my chat. Kenshin says, cheers from Argentina. So great to see you back and healthy again. Enjoyed your Fable 2 video. Wow, thank you so much. I have no idea how much that super chat is, but all I know is when it's red, that's a pretty crazy super chat. Thank you so much, Kenshin. That's literally the first time I've ever seen a red super chat, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, the Fable 2 video. I would like to do more videos like that in the future. I'm glad you enjoyed this style. Sort of a bit of an extended talk about a game that people think I probably should have played by this point, but haven't. I should have done the same. I missed an opportunity to talk about Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 when I played those for the first time, finally. Because I had a lot to say about those games. Sadly, I didn't capture my initial impressions on those the second I finished them. So I really want to try and do that kind of stuff more often. Those kind of videos kind of get, like, unfortunately slammed by the algorithm because people are way more likely to watch videos that are more generally focused on collecting rather than like a singular game. But if I got 20 minutes of something to say about a game, I'm going to make the video anyway. I don't care. The exchange rate is crazy. That is actually crazy. Well, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, because in the US, a red super chat is like crazy. But I don't know how the conversions work. YouTube doesn't convert it for us, so you'd have to do the conversion on the fly. I still appreciate it though. Thank you, Kenshin. Yeah, let's go to Argentina and buy some games. Get that conversion. Thank you, Hachiri. Appreciate the 54 months. What is your thought process behind making top 10 lists? Whenever you make a top 10, you always have a hard time. So I've attempted them very rarely, because I don't take them lightly. So the last time I tried doing a top 10 was for my top 10 games of the generation, and that video is up on YouTube. To make that video, I did like 3 streams of researching all the games and analyzing each game before deciding to like see if it's a contender for the top 10 list. I'm sure some people remember when I did that list. I put in probably about 20 hours total of analysis before I finalized the top 10 games. So I literally go through every game scrutinize it, and then try to decide if it's worthy of being in the top 10. So your best thing to do is make a giant list. So you're making a top 10 games of like PS1. Just put every game on there that you're like, yeah, I really like that game. Just throw it in the list, and then you just go through process of elimination. And just like chip away at it, and eventually you'll end up with 10 of them. I think the hardest part is trying to figure out how much you want nostalgia to overrate like more recent memories of playing a game. There's a big difference with having played a game 2 decades ago and like having fond memories of playing it versus something that you played last year and you really enjoy it. So something that I tend to weigh is if it's something that I played really recently and found out that I really loved it and I only played it for the first time recently, I will weigh that a little bit more heavily than something that I'm only riding off of memories from my childhood. Wasn't I going to the IMDb listing of every game from 2010s? Yes, it was a long process. But listen, if I'm going to make a video called My Top 10 Games of the Decade, it's going to be a serious video. That was a very interesting top 10 list. Especially because there are games on there now where I'm like, man, what was I thinking? But at the time, I was viewing top 10 games of the decade more as a, what were the most influential games on me for that time period. Not so much like what I would actually declare top 10 games of the decade now. Like, there are games on that list where I look at them now and I'm like, yeah, I want nothing to do with that game anymore at this point. Right? Like Hearthstone. Want nothing to do with it. But I cannot deny that that game was a huge part of my life for that decade. Probably my most played game of that decade, right? Like, it was huge for me. So, like, weighing that versus what you care about now versus then can be a little difficult. It's like, okay, just because I don't play Hearthstone anymore, does that mean that I discard all those years that I played it? I don't think so. Damn, PS1 import collecting getting rough. Games like Extra Bright, people want $50. This was like a $5 game back when I was collecting import PS1 games. This is known as Pisoge, as they called them. Like, it means literal shit games. You know how we have terrible janky games? Well, this is Japan's equivalent. And I can confirm that, yes, this game is pretty awful. Some kind of weird, like, sci-fi space racing game. It's the closest thing I can compare it to is like Bug Riders. I've lost a lot of streams. I wish I archived them. Tons of them for sure. Top 10 NES. I'll let you know when I spend 20 hours deciding on a list. I haven't played enough NES to make a meaningful list. Tereba making a list, yeah. That certainly caused a stir. Tereba sucks now. Right, like, now Tereba sucks, but back when I was playing it, it was amazing. Especially streaming it. Now it's a shell of its former self. You couldn't like get me to try and play that anymore. It's just so gutted of personality. Yeah, it's so stupid now. You don't even like play for the things that you actually win. You literally just play for like a box or a ball, and then when you drop it in, you get the prize. Like it's just, it's no longer fun. At least I have the memories of playing it in its prime. Because back then they couldn't really like some things they couldn't really predict how easy it would be to win when you're actually playing for the real item. But now that they like use pre-made items to try and make you like win the actual item, they can more control and rig it. Right, if you have an oddly shaped plush in a machine, they can't always know how easy that's going to be to win. So if you find the exploit, which I used to do, you used to be able to farm that stuff. Not anymore, can't do that anymore. This is a cool cover. This is like a shiny gold cover. This is a turn-based RPG, by the way. I've always wanted to stream this. I don't care if it has an English translation now or whatever. I'd still want to fiddle my way through it. Kind of reminds me of a working design sort of packaging. Shiny gold. Did I beat Silksong? Definitely not. That's a long game. Top 10 horror games? Yeah, that would be a hard list to put together for sure. I'd say every year on average I probably play about 15 horror games. I think last year, it was like a new record. Last October I beat the most amount of horror games in a month like ever. I think it was something like no joke, I think it was something like 27 games in the month. And I only I streamed 30 days. So I was beating almost a game a night. Some of them were shorter than others, but yeah, I beat a ton of games. But let's just say every year I play usually around at least 15 horror games during the month. Average of like 2 nights. You know, some of them take longer, some of them take short. It's probably more like 15 to 20. So I've been doing that now for about 10 years. So about 200 horror games over the last 10 years. At least. That's not counting the ones I play here and there outside of October. Well, I've probably played more. Beat, that's a different story. Play, sometimes I abandon them if they're really not my thing. Let's do affiliate. So this is for between August 26th and September 1st if you bought anything using my affiliate link, which is located in my stream and video descriptions on YouTube, and then in the About section on Twitch. Hopefully what you picked up might show up in here. To start us off, we got a vintage 1996 Ralph Lauren Polo Green Cashmere? What is this? Cosmere? Oh, it's like a cologne. You still got plenty left inside. Beyond Oasis for the Genesis Complete in Box for $170. Wow, that's so crazy to me. I can remember when Beyond Oasis was actually like one of the least desirable action RPGs on the Genesis. You can get a complete in box copy of that game for $20, no problem. Like, it was very common and not really expensive. Times have changed. Sony DualShock 4 wireless controller for the PlayStation 4, Blue Crystal. Haunted Hideaway Fall Halloween Pumpkin Ghost Bat Cocoa Coffee Tea Mugs. Oh, we saw one of these last week. Let's see what the new addition to the collection is. And there it is. Got competition for my own Horror Month mugs. Look at that. PlayStation 3 Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions for $55. Sounds about right. A PS2 white slim console and cables for $125. Sounds about right. Well, actually, wow, I guess slims have gone up a little bit, but maybe the white one's a little more desirable. Sharp Aquos Liquid Crystal Television. $41. Really? A nice little TV for 40 bucks. Any chance of Ecstatica going up on the VOD channel? I think it already might be on there. Maybe. I could swear I put that on there. Or it might be on there, but maybe I didn't finish uploading it. I think I have that playthrough. It's a nice TV. Oh, it's got component. Component in this video. Yeah, it's nice. That's pretty good for 40 bucks. Something tells me that it probably normally goes for more. Returnal for the PS5, also known as one of the only games that uses good DualSense. HoloLive English Nanashi Mume Valentine's Day acrylic stand for $100. Alright, we'll show this for the weebs. I know you're out there. I know you're all clamoring to see what acrylic stand this could be. And there it is. It's like a letter holder or something. Spectrum Designs Fright Night Unstamped Rare Halloween Coffee Mug. Man, somebody is getting ready for October. I like that one. Happy Halloween 16-ounce Boston Warehouse speckled microwave dishwasher. All right, we'll stop with the mugs. I'm sure there'll be more next week. PlayStation 5 Pro, 2 terabyte console only for $500. Wow, interesting. Console only, huh? I guess that's one way to save a little bit of money. Marvel Legends 6-inch Baron Van Strucker Puff Adder Hasbro Avengers. I'm just gonna say that's probably a Trekkie pickup, right? Let's see, let's pick this one, do this one. This has got to be the most annoying thing about collecting older action figures, are these like little accessories that are probably really easy to lose. HoloLive acrylic stand once again. For Kamiket? Or Nanashi Mume again? Ellie and Anna Halloween Ghost and Skull coffee mug. Alright, it's getting out of hand now. Who is this? Expose yourself. Apparently they're having a big October gathering. They need a bunch of horror mugs. Polo by Ralph Lauren. More cologne for men. This one's a little bit cheaper than the last one. Alright, finally we got a game. Apparently people still buy video games on eBay. Centipede Infestation for the Wii. $15. Well, that's actually a little more expensive than I would have thought that game would be. Kind of like sort of bargain bin style game. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for the PS5. $29. I know the collector's edition I think is still a ton of money for that. Mary Kay Hint of Mint Lip Balm. Lot of 6. Ultra Pro Postcard Soft Sleeves. Yakuza 2 for the PS2 Black Label. Brand new. And 3-piece cat teaser wands interactive fishing pole. Man, you guys picked up some interesting stuff this week. Someone's got to entertain their cat. I'm going to say the purchase of the week. The $135 bottle of vintage 1996 cologne. Because that's just different. Followed by Beyond Oasis. Thank you to everybody that used the link. And had your stuff show up, hopefully. Might be a good price for Shadow. Unless it's finally coming down a bit. During the peak pricing of this, during the movie hype, it was going for like $80. Looks like you still got people asking about $60 for Black Label. Let's check. $45. We'll just price the Black Label copies. $48. Oh, that's a really good price right there. Not working though. $42. $37. $38. $42. So it looks like $35 is on the, like when you're including what people are charging with shipping. $34, $38. Yeah, this is about right. A little bit more on the lower end for what people are charging. Well, sometimes when you use the link, sometimes it just doesn't track stuff for Admiral for whatever reason. My thought process is some of the stuff may just not be eligible for affiliate earnings. Who knows? It's a little too hard for me, Mike. I have a hard time remembering what games I played last week. So I'd literally have to go through a list and see all the things I played this year. It's hard for me to remember what I play in a year anymore. Just a reminder to never buy From the Abyss for $80. Game wasn't worth it for $20. Do not spend $80 on that game, please. It's essentially just a port of a mobile game. do approach. Let's do a search for promo. Actually, been a little bit since I searched for that. Usually turns up some fun stuff. And also a lot of magazine articles. Oh, look at this. See, I told you, promos got... Finally, someone posting something cool instead of just some lazy magazine promo. An original bag if you went to the stores to buy Mario RPG in Japan. A shopping bag with Mario RPG on it. How cool is that? I'd frame that. Frame that. Put it on the wall. Very cool. I've never seen it. That's pretty rare. Never seen it. Temporary tattoos for GameCube. I wonder if they still work. Probably not. I have no idea. Arcade, I've never counted. Resident Evil Outbreak watch. Not as cool as the 999 watch. Konami Silent Hill 0 3D Crystal Paperweight Butcher pre-order promo. I love these 3D cubes. I don't know if any of you have ever seen these things in person, but they are cool. I have a couple of these for Sonic. Speaking of Silent Hill, maybe I'll show you guys now, and then we'll continue with promo. So I mentioned earlier in the stream that finally people have started to list their Figgies with like the rare variants on eBay, because a lot of people they hold on to their variants, because obviously if you're buying a Figgy, you want to keep it for yourself and not resell it. But I noticed in my alerts somebody has finally started to put their bronze Figgies up on eBay. So if you bought any Figgies, this is the first, to my knowledge, this is the first like baseline that we have of what your Figgies are worth if you pull a variant when you get your order. So someone has a bronze of Pyramid Head, Zero, Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and then Solid Snake. They want $350 for the bronze of Snake, $225 for the others, and $200 for Cowboy Bebop's. Oh, and look, here's some other ones that popped up. A silver... Oh, do they have the silver? Oh, they do have the silver background. That is kind of cool. The silver background for silver, someone wants $450. And a gold plate for X, $500. So if you got any of these, this is what people are expecting now. They haven't sold yet, right? But it just shows you what people are kind of like valuing these at right now. Silver for Sonic is $450. Gold, another one for $600 for Guile. $450. So let's see if any sold. None yet, but that's the baseline. These are the baselines. We'll see if these sell. I'll keep an eye on them. So that way if you have a bronze or a gold or silver, you might know what some people may be paying for these. And I'll show you guys, since they did have a new image reveal for our weekly Figgies update real quick. Once again, I am affiliated and partnered with Figgies, so keep in mind this is sort of sponsored in a way, because I have an affiliate code with them. Let me just show you guys real quick. Here's the website. Once again, if you use my code DOOR at checkout, 5% off any order of over $50 before shipping, which I did confirm with them is still... It's just that the one person that bought 3 Figgies and it counted, it was a currency conversion thing, so it still worked out to be over $50. So here's the latest ones that they released. Conker's Bad Fur Day, Metal Gear Solid 3 for the release of the new remake. Yu-Gi-Oh! And then here's the ones that are coming soon, but they did have a new reveal, which is why I'm showing you guys. Here's the Silent Hill. You can still get the Silent Hill 2 ones. We had Suikoden also recently revealed. Oh, it looks like they revealed a new Cowboy Bebop Wave 2. But here's the new one. The next wave of Banjo-Kazooie has been revealed. Personally, I like the Jingos the most. So this will be out in 24 days. And if you pick up the set, you can use my code, and they stack that discount, by the way. So the more you buy, the cheaper they give you with the discount. Like, they'll give you more discounts, they'll give you cheaper shipping. So how it works is whenever you buy any Figgy, there is a 1% chance to pull a gold, like we were just looking at on eBay, the ones that they're trying to sell for $500 or $600. They make 1,000 of each figure, so technically 5 golds. There's a 3% chance for a silver, and then a 6% chance for a bronze. Plenty of my viewers in my Discord have shared that they've gotten goldses, browns, silvers. I mean, Hakira in Japan bought a single Sonic Figgy and got a silver backing plate, which is crazy lucky. So anyway, there's your weekly update for Figgies, just kind of showing you guys what the secondhand market is looking like for these, with the variants and the new releases that are out or coming out. Thanks, Mr. Big. Thank you very much for the 11-month membership. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jazz. Wafer Boy with the 104 months on Twitch. Thank you so much, Wafer Boy. Spike's still available. Didn't even know they had Bebop ones. Most of them should all still be available, yes. Let me see. So some of them, if you want to see some of the older ones... let's see. Let me just hit search. So they have Wave 1 and 2. They are still available for Wave 1. And then Wave 2 is coming soon. When you buy a certain amount of Figgies on the site, I think it was 12, they send you a free Figgy as like a bonus. The free Figgy that they sent me in the mail was Spike. I haven't watched Cowboy Bebop since it was on Toonami as a kid, so I really don't remember too much with it. But that's the one that they sent me for free. Well, I'm terrible at doing the math once we get into the higher months, Wafer Boy, so you let me know when that time comes. Remind me. Are there any game series I hope to see in the future Figgies line? So I recommended to the creator, I would love to see a Panzer Dragoon Figgies line, because Panzer Dragoon has like almost no merch. And he actually took the feedback and said in his next meeting he would talk to Sega about it. So you guys have me to thank. If we get Panzer Dragoon Figgies, it's because I brought it up. And First for Figures has a lot of connections with Sega, so it's very possible it could happen. And that's the cool thing about it, because they, you know, Figgies are pretty low risk for them to make. They're doing 1,000 of each Figgy, and then like they're $15, so they're not expensive. So like they can take their risk on a lot of obscure characters and series to some degree. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. It's not like they're making a $500 statue like with their First 4 Figure stuff. So that's kind of the cool thing about it. They can take those risks. I love this pin. 149, a reminder of how good we used to have it. Mirror's Edge bag. Actually a pretty practical bag. With all those pockets. Personally, I don't know what you'd put in all those pockets, but it's, you know, it's got a lot of compartments. I've seen people walking around with that bag at conventions in the past. The thing with a standee like this is it's like, it's part of another standee. So it's like you're getting half of a standee. I always thought it was kind of weird. Thank you, Rapid Fire, for the 107 months. Did any of you redeem your Nintendo Club points for one of these? This was always one of the cooler things they came out with. It always looked weird to me because of the shape. But it's cool. It's just like a nice little memento for Club Nintendo. What are they advertising here? New. 36 pages of full color. Oh, for the comic before it came out. It's cool. Oh, they have a physical for this game? Limited Run put it out. Is this that RPG I was looking at? Yeah, it is. This actually looks like a really interesting turn-based RPG. Like old school Super Nintendo style. You can see the combat here, sort of like done in a very Super Nintendo kind of look. It's just very unique looking. It's almost like it's Shining Force, but with literal 4-character party turn-based battles. This Way Madness Lies. Really interesting name for that. I've always been curious about that game. Hello, Heidi. You got a Boo notepad? I forget what I used to spend my points on. I know I spent a lot of points on something that a lot of people got with, like, it was like a statue, little, like, plastic statue with a bunch of Nintendo characters in it. Forget if that's something I had to spend points on or if that was something they sent out to members automatically. I don't recall. I think I had to spend points on it. I think it was a ton of points too. It was points? Yeah, I spent a lot of points on that thing. Oh man, this reminds... Man, who remembers the Square Enix membership points? I forget what they called it. Square Enix Members, I think it was called. You guys remember that? I did a video on that a long time ago. Where, sadly, I think I may have sold it. I'm not sure if I still have it. But, like, they used to have amazing stuff on there for the points you would get. There was this, like, Final Fantasy IV, like, heavy plaque with like a glass covering on it. You guys know what I'm talking about? Some of you may have got it yourselves. Let me see if I can actually find Square Enix members. They had some cool stuff on there. And then they, of course, ended the program. Acrylic illustration plate. It was way more high quality than that. This. I mean, look at this thing. This is what Square Enix used to give you for their membership. I don't remember how many points it cost, but apparently it's an ultimate reward, so it was not cheap. Look at this. It's like a really heavy plaque with like a really nice glass etched reproduction, obviously, insert in there. But I mean, it was so cool. You can hang it up. I don't know if I still have this. I may have sold it. I hope I didn't. I really can't remember. If I still have it, it's probably tucked away somewhere. Yeah, people want $270 for it now. I could tell you if I sold it, I did not get $270. I think I got the scarf. I think I got the Square Enix members scarf. Lightning Returns plate. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they did several of those, it looks like. Wow, nobody has bought. Okay, somebody bought one for 100. I mean, you can't blame them for that price. It's better than 300. That's it. And it's showing me Helldivers for some reason. I don't know why. A lot has gotten worse in terms of collecting. What do I think has gotten better? It's an interesting question. I guess what's gotten better is just the ability to more easily do research on the games that you want to buy. Back in the day, a lot of the games were so obscure that there was almost no resources on them, so you weren't sure if it was a game you'd even like. But now it's a lot easier to just like check YouTube or something and see if it's a game that you want to buy to begin with. Also, it's gotten a lot easier to have alternatives for fixing your consoles, repairs, and alternatives for like HD output for these things. Accessibility, I guess, is the best way to put it. A lot of HD ports and stuff. Hello, Tiger Milk. And you can find anything now if you want it. Yeah, as long as it's not exceedingly rare. You know, like any kind of like staff-only promo items or something. Other than that, you should be able to find most of the things you want. Prey Game Sun? It's actually really rare to see an advertisement for Prey that shows the characters. Usually it's just like the white cover, typically. Looks like this is one that was meant to hang. You can see the holes on top. Yeah, they typically... What was this guy's name? Jackie, I think? Yeah, you typically don't see merch for this with the characters. Prey was a cool game. I enjoyed it. The multiplayer was broken, though, when that game came out. You couldn't even play it. It was so laggy. Enslaved store display. Enslaved is another game I gotta revisit. I was a huge fan of Enslaved. I actually have a review for it on my channel. I'm sure what I said for it back then would still stand today. I used to have a statue for Monkey from Enslaved, the main character. I remember someone reached out to me one time, offering to buy it, and I usually never sell, like, my unique one-off collectibles like that. But they reached out to me, like, many years after the game came out, and at that point, like, I was over my honeymoon phase with Enslaved. I still like the game, but I was like... And they offered me... I think they offered me, like, $500 for the thing. Something, like... crazy at the time, because I think I only paid $80 for the statue. So I took them up on the offer. I did sell it. Because I was like, man, I like Enslaved, But do I love it enough to keep the statue and turn down that kind of money? So, they also seem like they were very into the game, so I knew it was going to a good home. But yeah, very rarely will I let go of something like that. And ever since then, that statue doesn't really come up for sale too much. It actually used to be pretty common for a period. But after they clearanced them out and got rid of them all, you don't really see them too much anymore. And it was nice to get rid of it because it kind of freed up space. I actually used to keep it right up here. What's in its place now is my Jack and Daxter statue. And my Journey statue. The PS Vita. The PS Vitas have already been going up in price. People made me aware. They're getting pretty pricey. So yeah, I'm sure they're just going to keep going up over the years. Yeah, Enslaved is a really cool game to play if you are into Wukong. Oh, that's a cool card. Man, FFTCG cards just... The magic cards still don't quite hit the same effect that these do. You never played it past the first 5 minutes. It's worth it. I think it's aged very nicely as well because the animation and the facial recognition is still very high quality. If you're craving one of those like 360 era action games, that's one of the best ones you can go with. Atari Jaguar Beta cartridge inbox holographic card and promo card. Excuse me? Okay, so it's got to be some kind of repro. I guess I'm just not aware of, let's see if they describe it. Cartridge is Atari brand. Product includes box promo card with flyer making it. Is this just a reproduction? Has to be. Why would they be charging so much money for something that, like, you could just print yourself? It's weird. Unless it's like the beta version of Rayman and then they just made custom packaging for it. Who knows? Jaguar fans are kind of crazy. They'll pay anything to get like literally something new, anything new for that console. It's kind of wild. Yeah. Yeah, they... Like I said, rapid fire. They've thrown in the kitchen sink at this point. I don't care who they add as characters at this point. Crossworld is so far gone with cameos. It should have been nothing but Sega characters, but instead it's crazy collaborations. It is what it is. I never owned a Game Boy camera, no. I had a friend that had one, and I thought it was a neat thing, but it was never something that I wanted to actually, you know, own myself. It was cool, but it was the kind of thing where I would have, like, dabbled in it for a day and probably never touched it again. I'll tell you one thing that I'm probably envious of, though, is people that do have a Game Boy camera and printed out a bunch of pictures from it. I'm sure it's a lot of fun to look back and like go through those old photos, as grainy as they may be. I did not see that rapid fire, no. Honestly, I forgot all about there even being a new 007 game. To be completely honest. You see some Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy characters. These are actually the original Final Fantasy trading card game cards, which has been around now for like a decade. What game is this from? This is... I am not sure because it's not telling me. These are all remixes. I don't recognize this song. Yep, Final Fantasy's had a trading card game for a while now. I've collected it. I mean, I have some of them sitting over there, but I've shown them so many times on stream. Let me see. What is this? Here's just a random stack of them. These are... Oh, these were from the booster box that I opened up. So I opened up one final booster box, hunting for the foil cloud, which I did get. But yeah, these are just random. This is from the first set that they made. People don't really like the first set too much because a lot of people complain that the art is kind of like boring and drab. I really like the simplicity of it. You know, just like character portraits, very simple stuff from all the Final Fantasy games. And then I got... Let's see. Try and find a cool one. Oh. You got like the city artwork. It's actually a very valuable band card in Japan. Or US too. Those are all the first set. The artwork definitely gets crazier and crazier as you go. But the first set is very straightforward. Personally, they look just as good, if not better, than the Magic the Gathering ones, and they're a lot cheaper to collect. Way cheaper. And they maintain their value. Still to this day, the booster boxes that are coming out are like still worth a good amount. They're not dipping in price too much. There is an Aya from Parasite Eve card. It's a promo from Japan. Or something along those lines. Let me see. See? Came in this set here. Never got an English one though. Yeah, I agree. Sega's going a little overboard with the Cross Worlds DLC, announcing all these characters and stuff before the game's even out. It could flop and they don't even know. Like, I'm sure it's not gonna flop. I'm sure the game will be fine, but still, upselling on like all these season passes with the characters locked behind the DLC. I mean, that's kind of a little much, in my opinion. I think they would have been better off keeping the characters like locked behind closed doors in a secret and revealing them like as time went on. But I really think they were going for that sort of like viral marketing campaign where people would just like flip out over the crazy character collaborations that would be in there. which worked to some degree. It got a lot of traction on X at least. Son collects Disney Lorcana. Lorcana has some really cool art. I agree. I would definitely never knock the art in Lorcana. The custom artwork that they do for that, actually really good. I just personally don't care enough about Disney. The only thing that I would care to collect in Lorcana would be Fantasia themed cards, because Fantasia was always my favorite Disney movie. What's the main villain's name again from Fantasia? Starts with a C. The big like demon devil guy, right? Like I know they have some really cool looking cards for him. That's the kind of stuff I would collect. Chernabog, yeah. Here, let me show you the Chernabog. I've seen. This card is cool. Like I love this. This is like one of those enchanted rare things. That art is good, right? When they want good art in Lorcana, they make it. Still $100. Yeah, if I were to own one graded or any like valuable Lorcana card, that would be it. Give me that in a pristine 10 with the black and the gold. That would match so nicely, because the card's layout is black and gold as it is. Has nobody graded this with CGC? Come on. Damn, no pristine label. Oh, wait. Yeah. Give it to me with this label, but with Chernabog. Fantasia has the whole world in Kingdom Hearts 3D. What the hell is Kingdom Hearts 3D? Wait, what actually is Kingdom Hearts 3D? Is it Kingdom Hearts 3? Oh, Dream Drop Distance, the 3DS game. Is it exclusive to the 3DS game? It was ported later. They put it on PS4. That would be kind of cool to play through. How extensive is the Fantasia world? I used to love that movie as a kid. It was just so... The visuals in that movie were so cool. I liked how it would be like super dark one scene, and then the next it would be like way more lighthearted. And it made me like classical music. I used to have the soundtrack for that, so it was like literally just classical music on the soundtrack. It's pretty cool. The best part about Fantasia is when I would listen to the soundtrack, because I knew the movie so well, I could literally just put the CD on, like CD player, and envision the movie in my mind, because I knew everything that happened, like beat for beat. Like when you hear the music, you visualize it. That was the coolest part. Costanza's Closet, thanks so much for that resub. Yeah, and then I never bothered with Fantasia 2. Whatever they called it. Yeah, I never watched that one. Yeah, Fantasia has always been and will always be my favorite Disney movie for sure. Just awesome animation, awesome. Like, I just love how it's like little mini stories. Timeless movie. It's a good one. Fantasia is like one of the reasons, like it's a good example of synesthesia, whatever they call it, where like you see colors through the use of audio. I think because I watched Fantasia so much when I was younger, that kind of like gave me that sort of sense in a way, where like you hear certain sounds and you see colors. That is a real thing, and that's actually the whole idea behind Res, PS2, Dreamcast, Xbox game, where sounds create colors in your mind. Because I used to see the visuals in Fantasia related to like deeper or higher pitch sounds. And the whole beginning of Fantasia, like the first sequence, is built all around that idea, where it's nothing but colors and lines and stuff for the opening of the movie. Cool shirt. Really sucks that vintage shirts have become like such a collector's thing now. I can remember back in the day, 20 years ago on eBay, you'd be able to pick this shirt up for like $20. Now any old shirt now is just like treated as some kind of relic. Ghostwire limited edition promo box with bowl and chopsticks? What the heck is this? Man, the things they come up with for limited editions these days. A bowl and chopsticks. Where are those? Let's see. Wow. Japan Demon IM? Dominium? Can't really read that. And they give you noodles to go with it. Man, you know some hardcore weeb put this limited edition together. Like, yeah, the people in America, they're gonna love this. And then no one bought it. Look at this. That's so funny. Demonium. Yokai Encyclopedia. I like how they're pointing instead of using their finger. That's pretty clever. This is hilarious. I've never seen a seller do this. That's actually really funny. Using the little Mickey Mouse hands to like point to the things that are missing. That's pretty funny. I like that. Yeah, collector's editions kind of lost their luster when almost every game that was releasing had a collector's edition. Then they were no longer special. What's a Game Gear poster? So how to know that this is a more rare variant? A lot of you are probably looking at this and you're like, oh, I've got that poster. This is one without folds and creases, so this actually was a bigger one that was hung up in the stores. Because the ones that were like included in games or magazines would always have those like really noticeable creases and folds. Did I ever use the Catherine pillowcase? Man, I never used anything from collector's editions. And you guys know, you all did the same thing. You'd buy those collector's editions, and everything inside, you'd be like, alright, we can't take it out of the plastic. We can't ruin the collector's value now. When you bought, guys bought that, what was it? That, what was that game on the Vita? The roguelike with the food, the sorcery game, or whatever. The one that came with a baby's bib and a bowl. Like, come on, who's actually using that? Come on now. Nobody. Yeah, Curry God or whatever it was called. Well, if you're getting something practical like a case, that's different, right? A case to put your console in. But if you're getting... Here, let me just show this. So many collector's editions just started coming with dumb stuff. Let's see if somebody shows the inside. Yeah. It came with a bib, a baby's bib. And then a little bowl and a spoon. No one is using it. No one's wearing the underwear from the Catherine limited edition. Alright, maybe some people use the body pillows and stuff, but most people are not using the stuff that's included. Especially if you got something that was like sealed and you're like, oh man, I can't open this, it's gonna ruin the value. Right? Opening up your CDs that have like 3 songs on the entire CD. No one's opening that. Okay, to be fair, I used to actually use the CDs that came with the limited editions for like Etrian Odyssey and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you're not using them. Your art books with like 5 pages. PAX West ROMs of Pixel Pen. That's actually cool. Not $80 cool, but it's cool. Man, Square Enix could make a killing. Imagine if Square Enix decided to release like a ton of RPG not keychains, pins like this. A little card on the back. Pixel characters from all their games of the past. Man, that would... People would go crazy for that. Price them at like $9.99, $12.99, something like that. What was that one game on 360? Is this it? Yeah, so here's a game where like, alright, I can see the practicality behind it, right? I'm assuming most of these ended up used, where they give you a mouse pad with wrist support. What is that? Is that a body pillow? What a game, boy. What a game. What a collector's edition. That was ahead of its time. This was like the first game to release in North America with a collector's edition that crazy. This is before it was cool to do stuff like this. And it is wrist support. It's like actually like gel support. Notice how all of them are open, by the way. None of them are sealed in plastic. I just want you to pay attention to this. Alright? Be careful what you're buying out there. Somebody said earlier they were enjoying Mario Party Jamboree. Well, do you enjoy it enough to buy this ginormous retail display case topper? Where are they at? Put your money where your mouth is. Where are you at? I think there's a reason it still hasn't sold for $55. VR horror games. I wouldn't count on VR horror. I haven't done VR stuff in a long time. I don't think I'm in the mood for motion sickness this year. I just hate streaming VR. The new VR, like PSVR 2. I can't see the chat. It's kind of lame. If they ever patch PSVR 2 to allow me to see Twitch chat in the headset, you let me know. You let me know. If any of you ever notice an update or something. VR feels so dead. I think one of the last state of plays they did was like, there was one state of play they did like earlier in the year or last year or something that felt like really the last hurrah. Like, this is our last attempt to get people into PSVR. But yeah, I think it's pretty much a thing of the past now. Who's excited for the Final Fantasy Tactics remake? News is starting to hit from people that got previews, and they're all saying it's like way better than we expected. So it's gonna be a good remake. It's looking and sounding like it's gonna be fantastic. I'm so glad I haven't done a playthrough of Final Fantasy Tactics like practically since the PS1 days, because it makes me even more excited to jump back in after all this time. And I'm actually very glad it's the PS1 version. I don't need every new re-release, like remake, to be of like the big ultra remastered edition with like all the new content. Like, sometimes I just like the base version of the game as it was released, and then they put in some voice acting. Like, that's perfect. Give me the base game. Oh, that's right. Tactics is coming out like right before October, right? Gosh. Man, this is gonna be rough. This is gonna be a rough year for October and November. In October, gosh. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Thank you, Emalak. Thank you for the 39 months. I always hate seeing when non-horror games release in October. I'm always like, ugh, now I gotta wait until November. It used to be nice when I didn't stream horror games in October. I could just play whatever. Now, the game comes out in October, I gotta wait. Infamous poster, that looks pretty cool. People always begged for that to come back. I enjoyed the first Infamous, but I never really cared enough to play the second one. First one was cool. What is this? Chrono Trigger Prism card. Holographic card? Excuse me? Prism cards are like my weakness. Oh my god, that looks so cool. Why does this have to be $200? Look at that thing. Did it come in a pack originally? Wow, they did. So you get like one card? Seriously? I guess it's like a metal card. Damn. That's so cool. I'm a huge sucker for like that 90s Prism style. The like shattered ice effects. Just look really cool. Would I ever speedrun an Uncharted game? I think I tried speedrunning Uncharted 4. If I remember right. I remember I tried learning one of them. I don't think Uncharted games would be my kind of speedrun though. Not anymore. Mario Graham promo thank you card. Is that really official? It's got Nintendo's copyright on it. That's kind of... I guess it is. Man, midnight launches just aren't the same anymore. I didn't go to too many midnight launches for like games, but the few that I did were always really exciting. I remember I went to one for Final Fantasy 12 and then like a couple of the Halo games, and sure there was some things I went to for 360 that I just don't remember. Mostly console launches. Look at this. The line starts at 10 p.m. on September 15th. Man, if you're a really big fan of Star Wars Force Unleashed and you actually went to a midnight launch for this, this would be cool to own. But they are asking a lot for it. That's such a cool poster. These kind of promo pieces are always a little tough for me because it's like, I have to like everything that's on the poster. So we've got, what is this? Is that Dark Sector? And then this is Genji. So if you don't really care for one of the characters on there, it's a little awkward. Never played Dark Sector. I really want to go back and start playing a lot of those 360 action games that I never got around to. Because that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, boy, I'd probably love most of those games now. This is cool. Game Boy Color was really about this, like, repetitious advertising style. What I mean by it is, like, they have a lot of these kind of advertising pieces that repeat the logo over and over. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Sky Odyssey is a excellent game that took me by surprise as well. Gex, enter the gecko hat. I'd buy it if it wasn't $200, but I don't blame them for that price because that's got to be pretty uncommon. Fable promo poster. It's actually a pretty cool poster. Who you are is not always who you will become. That is true. I was pretty evil in Fable 2. For every choice, a consequence. Yeah. Unless you play good. You play evil, the whole game is against you. Goodness gracious. Whole town's out to kill you. Driven by pure lust, frighteningly beautiful men drop at her feet. I don't think we're ever going to see another Blood Rain game. Fun games, though. Oh, I used to love... It's one of my, like, guilty pleasure games. Star Wars Demolition. I used to love this game. Is this just a magazine ad? It's gotta be. Yeah, it's a print ad. I really hate it when people like post those as a promo item. I mean, I guess they're a promo, but come on. They clog up the results so much with that stuff. Yeah, thank you for watching. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, if you guys didn't see my new video that I uploaded today, be sure to check it out before bed or something. I went into a vintage collectible toy store and found something pretty insane inside of there, to say the least. Not in a million years would I ever think of finding that in the wild. It's the kind of thing that you would only typically find on eBay like once a year, if that. So it was pretty crazy to find it. Not gonna spoil what it is. You have to watch the video. Some people have already said what it is, but yeah, if people enjoy those videos, you know, I'll definitely attempt to make more of those. Not every store will be as cool as that one, though. That store was a step above. But I'm gonna get ready here to transition to the gameplay part of my stream. This portion of the stream is going to be exclusive to Twitch because it is a Twitch-sponsored thing. It has nothing to do with YouTube. But I invite everybody that is over on YouTube to come watch on my Twitch page if you want. I'm going to be playing a new MMO called Blue Protocol that just came out recently for a couple hours. So there's the link if you want to join. It's appreciated. You can still hang out and chat about games. You can keep me company. We could still keep talking about retro games. You don't have to talk about the game. You can still just come over and talk. But I am going to get ready to transition over to that. So bear with me. I'm going to end the YouTube side of things here. So thank you for everybody that watched over there. I'm in the middle of a Hollow Knight Silksong playthrough, which I'm streaming on Twitch on my second channel. Here is a link to my second channel, by the way, if you want to catch my gameplay stuff on YouTube. That is where I have been streaming my gameplay stuff on YouTube. It's not on the main channel, it'll be on that channel. Alright, so I'm going to be switching over. Going to end the YouTube side of things. Twitch side is going to stay up. Thank you, YouTube.